So you've seen the national headlines talking about how houses aren't affordable anywhere. Well, what does housing affordability look like here in the Midlands, in the Columbia, Lexington, Irmo, Chapin markets? That's the focus of this month's Market Update. Well, before we crunch the numbers, I will say that we are still in a massive seller's market here in the Midlands. But there is also a little glimmer of hope for the buyers out there. First, let's talk about home affordability. And to do this, I got my fellow Dreher High School class of 1997 alum and senior loan officer at Guild Mortgage, Mark Tibshrany, to crunch the numbers for me, do some magic, and this is what we found. So we looked at the average household income of the average household in Lexington and Richland counties. Then we looked at the average home price in both of those counties and used those numbers to kind of come up with a rough home affordability index. And after Mark did his magic to give us reliable numbers for these fictional people, adding the taxes and insurance and ancillary costs in to get a true mortgage amount, the numbers came out better than most places in the country, but still borderline on home affordability. And again, these numbers are assuming that the buyer had no debt, no credit cards, no car payment, no student loans, so debt-free, great credit score, average household income for our area. And even with those radical assumptions, the numbers still came out to where the average house is going to cost the average household about 50% of their monthly income in mortgage payment costs. That is the tippy top of what most companies are going to loan out for a mortgage. Now, if you, like most people, have a car payment, have credit cards, have student loans, all of those debts get subtracted to figure out what the total mortgage amount you could be. So if you have any of those, but you make the average amount, you're not going to be able to afford the average home. But I told you there'd be good news for buyers, and we're going to talk about that in a second. So conventional wisdom would tell you that if the average person in the Midlands can't buy the average house because the prices have elevated, then those prices would need to necessarily come down because the average person can't buy those houses. But a recent story came out in the state newspaper that was focused on lakefront property, not just Lake Murray, but lakefront property in the entire state. And what they found was 84% of all homes bought, lakefront property, were bought from people out of state. And I'm here to tell you that that's not just happening on lakefront. That's happening with all of our real estate. People are moving here from all over the place. And if you look at South Carolina, we're 42nd in the nation for average household income. So it doesn't matter if they're moving from a state that's up north, out west, or further south. Their average household income is going to be higher than those in South Carolina. So that is what's holding prices steady at the highest they've ever been. But if you look at the last 6 months, prices have actually been starting to level off. Now, yes, they're leveling off in the stratosphere, but it's still a leveling off. If you look at this graph, they've just been continuing to go up for 3 years. And then let's check out inventory. These 2 points in 2021 and 2022 were absolutely miserable. We had less than half a month's supply of inventory on the market. What that means is that if we didn't have any new listings, we would have made it halfway through the month and there would have been no homes on the market left in the Columbia area. We had such buyer demand and inventory so low that every home on the market had 20 showings the first day, 20 offers the first day, and buyers were having to basically sell their firstborn child in order to get into a home. I actually had one buyer on a listing I had in 2021 that offered a year's worth of free Chick-fil-A for their family if they just accepted that offer. But today, inventory is almost at 2 months, which is getting healthier and healthier for buyers. Our number of closings per month is back up around historical averages, and our days on the market is hovering around 40 days on the market before a listing gets sold, which back in 2021 and 22 hit the low of 17 days on the market. Absolutely ridiculous. And another good thing for buyers is if you look at the price these houses are selling for right now compared to the list price, it's actually finally dipped below 100%. If we have 2 months of inventory and we have a healthy supply of buyers, the market is looking healthier and healthier. So while home affordability is still tough, and houses selling below the average home price for our area, anything below $300,000 is still really competitive for buyers right now. The number of homes available are giving buyers more choices than they've had in 3 years. And with prices stabilizing, home affordability could improve. For you folks thinking of selling your home, it's still your ball game. Because while prices have stabilized, they've stabilized in the stratosphere at all-time highs. And because people want to move here from all over the country, I don't see prices dropping anytime soon. If you'd like detailed data on your specific town, whether it's Columbia, Lexington, Gilbert, Batesburg-Leesville, Irmo, Chapin, Prosperity, if you'd like individual data on those towns, I can get those for you. I can even break down the data to your individual neighborhood and let you know what's been happening, what's going on with prices there. The same information I just gave you about the Midlands in general, I can give you about your individual home. So feel free to call, text, or you can just visit my YouTube channel, send me a message. I'm at your service. Again, I'm Michael Bell with Agent Group Realty. Until next month. Thank you.